Good morning, Monday morning, first working week of the new year. So hopefully you've got your goals set, you're running your night book if you have one, you're confident about programming your 7 goals, you've had a look at them already this morning, those outcomes, those future histories. So that means that as this week begins, that you will attract, you'll be tested, will you act when you attract ideas, people, places, opportunities. That's the first thing to be aware of. What's most important though is that you actually trust yourself to get to work with your programming. So the most important thing that will happen this week is that before critical meetings or events or a phone call you need to make, you're going to take the time to pre-program it. You're going to maybe go to the alpha closet, that's what we call the loo. Go into the loo, sit down, do a head to toe relaxation after 3 deep breaths, get onto your landscape, get into whichever building you're using given the different courses, and program the outcome you desire. And the most important emphasis of course is that the outcome is what you desire. The dog's getting frustrated because I'm standing in the lee of this tree, these bushes here, because the wind's crazy out there. No, on you go. So yeah, what I was going to say was that apart from programming the outcome, the most important thing is to see that because you show up being the best version of yourself, hopefully that's not affecting the recording, the best version of yourself shows up, of course, and the outcome you desire from the event takes place. But your emphasis is also on the fact, how do other people benefit? It's the benefits for others that speeds up the programming process in terms of the end results manifesting. So you're not in it just for yourself, you're in it for those people. Now last year at this point, I set myself some goals. One was to do some charity gigs, to find charities that would be willing to take the risk to book a venue, to go to their own people, and I would go to my people and let them know the course was available, and all the takings apart from my obvious sort of straightforward expenses would be the property of the charity. So we're able to do that 3 times, which was amazing. I still had 10 months to run on a corporate contract, so I was going to be busy anyway. And the other thing I wanted to do was do an online course for the first time for the public. Done it for companies, but for the public, which we did of course, and ultimately that led to the famous, well I'm saying famous because it was just amazing, 3rd workshop. And what came out of those public courses that were done on behalf of the charities was that people returned, and I've said this a few times, you know, people got the luxury of seeing Jim's video. He's 30 years into his Mindstore career, an extraordinarily successful man who said openly that using the tools and techniques has played a massive role during his journey. There was a woman showed up at one of the Glasgow courses, and it was the first repeat after 30 years, and she'd used it to build an amazing life. Because Mindstore works. And what also was very interesting was that people brought their sons, their daughters, their nieces, their nephews, someone they had a sort of inkling for who would do well in their career. They brought them along, and what occurred to me was that really what I should do is get out of my own comfort zone and get into the studio and start recording these courses for people so they could access. So that what I did of course was I did an introductory course which is now launched. It was launched on Friday, so that your young people, because if someone uses the techniques for 30 years and builds an amazing career, then that person you're thinking about right now, that niece, that nephew, that young person in the office, your own children, grandchildren or whatever, they've got 30 years ahead of them where they will massively improve the outcomes of their lives. And you of course can help them do that by getting them to purchase for 30 quid, for God's sake, a life-changing program. Of course they can go and spend £4,000 or £5,000 and they'll remember the nice people they meet, and they'll remember 1 or 2 things they did. Yeah, I still remember walking the red hot coals in Birmingham one night, and with lots of Mainster members. In fact, I took 3,000 Mainster members to that particular event, and I remember that. I'll always remember it. But did it change my life? No. Did I use any of the tools and techniques that happened? Don't even remember one of the techniques. But Mindstore works, and so creating the opportunity for your young people was my intention. I mean, surely you can encourage them to invest 30 quid in themselves. It'll change their lives. And I'm really, really pleased with the content. So that's available now. The other thing that I've done, because realising that it's unlikely that your young people are going to be on Facebook, or even LinkedIn for that matter, where I tend to post, I've engaged a young man here in Canterbury who's got a bit of a reputation for building social media content stuff, and I've got tons of content obviously, and he's got me an account now on TikTok and an account on well, I don't remember the other one, but one of those other ones that people use, and I'll put the links to them at the bottom of the video, so you can go and maybe introduce those younger people to those pages. And what he's doing for me, as you'll probably noticed in the last couple of days, is around about 6 o'clock at night he's going to release on Instagram, that's Instagram, TikTok, and I'll put them up on Facebook and LinkedIn, these sort of short video things that he makes from my content, and hopefully that'll encourage them, and maybe if you find they're encouraged, can direct them towards the information about this course, which will change their lives. And the idea, of course, is that on that same platform, hopefully today I'll make some phone calls and see if we can get scheduling, and I'm going to do the traditional House with the Red Roof, the full course. I'm going to do Whispers with Giants. I'm going to do the Islands. I'm going to get all those courses up eventually over this year. That's my kind of main working intention for the year ahead. Hopefully that will benefit you, your family, your loved ones. That youngster in the office that you know, they've got a great career ahead of them, if only they could understand the power of how changing their thinking, having tools and techniques to improve the quality of their thought, and ultimately the confidence to use tools and techniques that allow them to show up being the best version of themselves. Dog's barking, she wants to get out on her walk, let's go and do that. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you, Ramara.